Jeremy Adams continues to build on the family's plans and counterattacks this issue, again relying on the characters' skills outside of their speed powers, such as Wally's knack for engineering, Barry's science, and Jay's wartime strategy. While I enjoy a clear sense of direction and planning, this issue was a real word salad, with so many word balloons crowding the page, to a point where it was covering up half the page and kind of obscuring a lot of the art. At least the back half of the issue was free from all of this, and it let the book progress to a more action-orientated stance for the second act twist, where everything for the heroes starts going wrong, and I'm very excited to see what Adams has in store for the back half of this series. Roger Cruz's artwork, while drowned out in the first half of the book by all of the dialogue bubbles, really shines in this second half, with some fantastic action set pieces involving Wally's SS Camaro and the Flash family utilizing other weapons like energy guns and tanks to battle the Fraction. Just something you never really see the Flash family do. Sometimes they'll use tech, but they never really use different weapons other than what they have in their Speed Force powers. So I like that Cruz got to be a little bit creative with seeing Barry with a gun and driving a car with Wally and everything. It's quite cool. The Flash issue 793, while having a really wordy first part, made up for it in its action-packed second half, paying off the last issue and a half of planning as it takes us into the final act of the 1 Minute War with quite literally a bang. I'm going to give this issue an 8.5 out of 10. The Flash issue 793 finds the super slowed Superman trying to talk to the Flashes, who think this will take all day. Barry tells them that they were slingshotted to this speed by the Speed Force, and in time, Superman might be able to catch up to them, but right now they must all look like a blur to him. The heroes go and see the prisoner they freed, learning from him that while it's fuzzy to him, he knows he's a corrections officer of sorts, and he was jumping through dimensions when he landed on a world that was overrun by the Fraction and was captured. He tells them that in his confinement, he learned that he was an organic conduit, and that makes him more valuable than gold, used as a core engine for their machines that help propel them through the Speed Force. He also reveals that the gold devices on the Fraction's chest are Speed Force processors, and that's how they are all artificially using the Speed Force, and they are pulling too much of the Speed Force into one location, and it's saturating the entire planet and slowing everything down to a crawl. Jay asks why they can still move faster than the enemy, learning from Barry that it's because they are organic users of the Speed Force, and they can use it to their advantage. The prisoner doesn't think they stand a chance against the Fraction, and they need to get off world while they still can, since once the Fraction find them and use them, they will be more powerful than ever. He offers to retrofit the ship he saw in Mr. Terrific's lab to get away from the Earth, but the heroes refuse to leave their home. The family decide that in order to weaken the Fraction, they will attack the Spire in their base. The boy asks how they are going to get into the Spire, since they will never get past the force field or the wall, and if they do, they'll just be shot down. Wally has an idea, asking who's up for a little field trip. Iray meanwhile is reading comics to her frozen brother as Jessie comes to see her, assuring the girl that her brother is going to be okay, and she knows this because her parents are heroes, and if they knew she was in trouble, they would have moved heaven and earth to save her, just like Iray's parents are doing to save Jai and everyone else, since the heroes are heroes because they don't back down from a fight. Iray says that her grandma says that in Korean, that's called Doshim, which means the way of the heart. Jessie tells her that that's all they can ever be, and that the girl's heart is full of thunder and she can never lose that. The girls hug as the Fraction prisoner watches, commenting that they are all so young. Linda arrives, telling him that so is he. He thinks that she is pregnant, wondering if she is scared for her child, since they might get hurt, but Linda isn't scared, sensing that her unborn child is strong and is actually protecting her. The boy thinks that she is right, as at the Speed Lab, Barry finds the other species have turned his lab into a mechanics workshop, fixing up Wally's old Camaro. Barry learns that they are going to install one of the Fraction's engines into the car and drive it Spire, and if it works like they think it will, an organic conduit charging the conduit should turn the engine into a bomb. Wallace thinks that it's suicide, but Barry thinks that this can actually work, since the engine runs off the Speed Force and creates a friction barrier just like they do while running, so they don't get killed by anything random that moves in their path. As Wallace and Bart argue over who can swallow a bug while at speed, Barry tells Wally the only problem is the wall, but Wally reminds him that that's Jay's mission to deal with, while they have their mission. Barry knows that this leaves Bart and Wallace, but the boys don't want to go back into the base since it's heavily guarded and Miss Murder is there. Wally demands that he be the one to do this, warned that he will need to phase before it hits him. The heroes get to work on the car as Jay and Max scout the base and Jesse and Irie take down a few of the Fraction forces. The heroes gather, finalizing all of their plans as Wally tells Irie to stay behind at the lab with Linda. The girl doesn't want to, but Jesse tells her that she needs to stand guard over the frozen heroes and their friends, which is a very big responsibility. Irie agrees to do so as Barry tells him that no matter what, they finish this today. Wally follows after him, asking if he's okay, but Barry knows he never will be again, something Wally wouldn't know since his family is still there, but Barry has nothing. Wally thinks that he has them, and Iris was his family as well, and he has been exactly where Barry was before, but it's not over until it's over, and it never is. Barry says that before the attack, Iris asked him to marry her, and they were married before but still remember it, but it was not the same until one of them asked the other. He reveals that he was going to ask Iris as well that very night, revealing the ring he had gotten her. He hugs Wally, telling him that he's going to make the Fraction pay for what they did and make sure they never do this again. Kid Flash and Impulse meanwhile ambush a convoy coming out of the base, getting the guard to call into the Admiral. The Flash attacks, blowing up the tank as the heroes speed into the base. Velda demands his tanks and flyers be sent in and his slider be readied as Barry tells Wally that it's time. Wally starts up his supercharged car, speeding towards the open wall as Max, Jay, Bart and Wallace hold open the gate with steel girders. The gate begins to close as Jay is stabbed and the heroes are captured by the Admiral and his men. Vel tells the injured Jay that they knew of the plans the heroes were concocting and Miss Murder is now infiltrating their base. Irie meanwhile hears a noise in the silent base, and when she goes to investigate, she's confronted by Miss Murder. Vel wonders to Jay if their plan really was a full frontal assault, but Jay says that would have been just stupid, as across the base, Linda and Jesse hold the door open as Wally speeds inside, dodging the turrets which can't hit the Speed Force powered car. Vel demands that they use the emitter so the spire itself fires on Wally, hitting the car and obliterating it and the Flash, as Vel says that that's the problem with heroes. They put their heart and soul into everything, thinking that if they try hard enough it will turn out okay, but the real truth is the ones who win are the strongest. No one is stronger than the Fraction.